What is up, guys? Jim here, and today we're going to be doing something super fun. We're going to be putting a lunchbox locker into the C10. So I've owned this truck for, I don't know, a year and a half or so, but I've only had it going for a few months. And you know, one of the funnest things you want to do in your C10 or your truck or any kind of car is do posi burnouts. But this bad boy right here, it only does one wheel peels. You know what I mean? We can't have a one wheel peel burnout going on. It's ridiculous. So we're gonna install this here lunchbox locker and hopefully be able to slide this truck all over the place. Burnouts, slides, whatever. Instead of looking ridiculous doing friggin' one wheel peel, leaving one slab, burning up one tire. That's literally ridiculous. So hopefully this thing installs pretty easily. It looks like it does anyway. I've watched a few videos, other YouTubers putting these things in. I've only seen videos of people putting them in 4x4 trucks, like in the front axles mostly for some reason. So I'm hoping that it works in this application, you know what I mean? I gotta imagine it's a lot better than welding the spider gears, which is what I was originally gonna do. So, you know, if you weld the spider gears, if you don't do it right, which, you know, you really can't get it right, they break eventually and ends up ruining your friggin' carrier and all that shit. So hopefully I chose the right route with the lunchbox locker right there. I guess I could have done a spool, but with a spool, you know, it doesn't unlock. The tires, both tires are spinning all the time, so you're chirping, trying to just park the car into a parking spot and just taking a small turn out of your driveway, you know, the tires chirping, shit like that. It's kind of ridiculous. So I don't want to do that. With the lunchbox locker at slow speeds, as you're making corners and everything, it unlocks and it'll ratchet so that, you know, one wheel spins slower than the other, so you can make corners easily, get into parking spots easily and stuff like that. So hopefully I made the right choice, and hopefully it'll work out for what we're trying to do. You know, just basically burnouts and have a fun truck to drive. Also, I want to take it to the drag strip, and with one wheel, it would suck getting it off the line. I mean, it's going to be a slow truck anyways, but I got to give it every advantage that I can. So without any further ado, I'll show you guys what we got going on here. Obviously, this is the lunchbox locker kit right here from a company called Power Tracks Lock Right, I guess. I don't really know. They're not sponsoring me. I paid full price for this thing. Instructions, which are very important because it talks about some tolerances that I'll get into with you guys that you have to measure with your fail gauge. I got new thrust washers just in case the old ones are worn out, and the measurements that I just talked about aren't right. This should make it right. So I'm just going to start off by putting those in. I'm not even going to screw around with the old ones. So essentially what you have right here, on both sides, you get the same thing on both sides. You can see the spline part that goes into the axle. The C-clip axle goes into there and locks through, and then this bad boy, you know, goes right through like that. And as if you're going slow, it'll skip like that, so you can go around corners and whatnot. And as soon as you give it some gas, it'll lock up and be able to slide around and have posi burnouts and whatever. So this kit, it said it only takes about an hour to install. You only need a few tools, so it should be pretty easy. I'll take you guys on the journey with me, and hopefully by the end of this thing we'll be ripping some donuts in Mexico. But I'll show you guys basically what we're gonna need. Just some more gear oil to fill it back up when you're all done. Obviously some brake cleaner to clean the diff cover. Some failure gauges like I was talking about to make those measurements that I'll show you guys when we get there. A magnet just to pull the C-clips out. A pick and a screwdriver just in case you gotta get them in somewhere to get something out. Half-inch socket for the diff cover bolts. 5/16 inch socket for the slide pin that goes through. It's a wrench, sorry, not a socket. Some gasket maker. This to make the job easier. This to make the job even easier. Don't worry about that. It's Massachusetts. I'm safe here. And also medium Dunkin' coffee, because if you're not from Boston, do you even drink? Who are you, right? So I got my Dunkin'. Got my other thing we can't name on YouTube or else they'll take my video off. So I'm gonna do all that stuff, get primed up, get ready to do this, get this thing up on jack stands and take the diff cover off, drain that shit, and I'll bring you guys in at that point where we got to put these things in just to make the measurements that I was talking about. So stick around, this should be a pretty good video. All right, so I got the diff cover off right here. So what we have to do is, you see these spider gears, all 4 of these spider gears, those guys have to come out so that we'll be able to put the locker in its place. And how that happens is there's a pin, you can see the pin right here that goes through, and the fastener right there. This fastener comes out and the pin's gonna drop through and basically, you know, allow you to take the top and the bottom out. And then once that pin is out, we'll be able to slide the axle in and pull the C-clips out. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, so now that the pin is out of there, oh, there we go. 1 spider gear. 2 spider gear. Now the other 2 I held in with the C-clips. I don't know if you guys can see in there. Right inside this part right here. Once you push in the axle, I'll see if I can do it with my foot. There you go. Oh, and the C-clip fell right out. You guys see that? I don't know where the hell it went. We're gonna have to go searching for that little thing. There's the other C-clip right there, or the first C-clip, sorry. We're gonna have to reuse that, obviously. So I'll slide this other one in. Slide that in, and then just turn her until the C-clip falls out, hopefully. Or maybe I'll put my magnet on it. Oh, there it goes. The other C-clip. So now, all we gotta do is remove these other ones. Just pull the axle out a little bit more. Take it out all the way. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. So here's one of the side gears. And this is that thrust washer that I was talking about before. I got new ones because I just wasn't sure what the measurement was on these ones. And once we get into that measurement with the feeler gauges, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me just push this guy out here a little bit. And then pull this guy right off. Same thing. And so now, the carrier is completely empty. I can't even turn it. Hold on one sec. Anyways, there it is. The carrier's empty. I'm gonna start getting the other pieces together and start putting it in. Oh, actually, I lied. We're gonna put the 2 end pieces in with the spaces first, with the pin, just to take those measurements that I was talking about. Once I set it up for that, I'll bring you guys in and explain what I'm talking about. All right, boys, so here we are. I've got the gear piece, the drive piece, the spacer, and the pin in, and obviously on this side, on the other side, there's the spacer and the gear drive, whatever the frig you want to call it. And what the instructions say is that in between the pinion shaft here and the bearing, I'm sorry, not the bearing, the spacer right there, that you need to have basically 5 thou between 5 thou and 20 thou. And what we're measuring perfectly on either side is 6 thou. So this thing is perfectly within spec. It's on the better end of being in spec. So what I'm gonna do now is pull these pieces back out, and then we'll be able to start installing it the right way, and I'll show you guys how we're gonna do that. All right, well, I spent a little time dicking around with this thing. We got the measurements all right that you saw in the last clip. I got it basically to the point where the directions tell you to stop putting it together like this. So I've got the one piece in here on the ring side, and essentially what we're gonna do is push the axle through, get the C-clip in there, pull the axle back so it locks in, and then get the coupler part on there, the locker part, and the spacer, and then repeat the process on the other side. And then I'm assuming that's all we'll do. And then we'll put the pin in, and it should be good to go. I got my brother here to help out. Look at that. That's the brother. He's here to help out, pull those axles in and out. And as long as this shit goes good, we're going down to Mexico. We'll be able to slide this thing around. He'll be able to take some footage. And hopefully everything works out for us. So I'm gonna start dicking around with this. I doubt you guys want to see me dicking around with the axles in and out, but I'm just gonna do exactly what I explained, and if something goes weird, then I'll bring you guys back in. But other than that, the next clip should be this thing all put together and ready to go. So hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, boys, good news. We got everything lined up, as you can see here. Got the C-clips in, push back. The bearing cups are in, not bearing cups, what the fuck do you want to call them? The spaces back there. The locker is in, the axle piece is in, the driver piece, whatever you want to call it. So now, all we have to do is essentially lock these things together. So if you see right up in here, when we put these things together, we slid a dowel pin in each one of those. So the dowel pin has to be slid over with a pick tool or whatever. And then you'll see right here, these springs right here that I have all greased up, those have to go in where you slide the dowel pin over. So essentially, let me grab my pick tool here. So essentially all we do is slide it over, just like you saw right there. Take one of these springs, and I believe you're supposed to just be able to, oh, there, yeah, there it goes. And then you'll feel it pop into the little recess that's in there. Oh, there we go. It went in the rest of the way. And that's it. You see how it slid over? Now you got to do that 4 times. There's 4 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll just slide the dowel pin back in, and I'm just gonna go ahead and clean the diff cover up, put this thing together, and fill it up, and hopefully the next clip is us in Mexico. I know it might take a few days to drive down there, you know, but that shouldn't be a problem. I got my passport already in my suitcase, so me and my brother here are gonna get this together, get on the road, and we'll see you guys down in Mexico. All right, boys, we made it out to Mexico. My brother forgot his passport, but that's all right. We got a boy in the Sinaloa cartel, so they know we're down here. It's no big deal. We got guys waiting around here, you know, keeping it safe for us down here in Mexico. So we're gonna get this done before they get upset at us, but everything's all set, ready to go. As you can see here, we're down here. We did a little test right up there on the street to make sure everything was gonna work well. It does work well, but like I told you guys before in one of the other videos, it's only got 256 gears, so they're highway gears, so it doesn't really spin that crazy. I think I need to invest in a line lock or something like that to really get this thing fucking moving. But I think all I'm gonna do is see if we can get this thing going into a burnout, and hopefully get it to do a couple donuts. I'm not really sure if it has enough power to do that. I mean, it should. It's 300 horsepower, but it's the rear gears that are really fucking us. So without any further ado, I'm gonna give the camera over to my brother and we're gonna get this fucking thing rolling. Gotta get out of here before the fucking cartel gets back. Well, boys, that was it. This thing slides like a motherfucker. I wasn't sure it was gonna do that, but good lord, this thing slides like a motherfucker. We're gonna get out of here before the popo comes. I mean, the cartel. Before the cartel comes and fucks us. But if you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button. If you want, subscribe, because there's gonna be a lot better content coming, like I've been telling you guys the past couple weeks. This video is pretty fucking lit. So like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!